Right, and we rejoin our crew having done a little bit of 20-minute time skip, having walked to the Lucky Lady Tavern and sat down with Thomas Fullbarrel. It's still pretty early in the day. It's probably around lunchtime right now since you headed over to the Hall of Weave first thing in the morning. It
What a way to start the day.
Right? Workplace violence.
I don't work there.
That's, that's a good
HR's
point.
gonna have a field day with Wade, though.
Not very busy in here. There's a couple of patrons. Lydia's buzzing around in the kitchen, preparing some sort of meal for the evening. It's starting to smell like cooking in here. It smells really good. You sat down at a table with Thomas. Is there anything you all would like to talk about with each other or with him?
So before we sat down at the table, if Cam were to do the little fortune thing again with the putting a coin in, is that something she can do each time, or was that like a one-time thing?
Once a day.
Cool. Then she is going to. I remember it gets better if you put more in or something, maybe. I don't know, but she's gonna put a gold piece in.
Well, player's knowledge, I don't think we are aware of that.
Yes,
yeah, gold piece, I'll do that too.
As well. Yeah, you put a gold piece into the basin near the statue of Timora, and you once again feel you feel like everything's going to go your way. Anybody who puts a gold piece in there gets 1 luck point.
I think Cam, when she does it, she kind of clasps the gold piece between her hands, and then she's like, I've never really prayed to anybody, but only to talk to my dad. I'd very much like if I could have that same feeling again. Then she just kind of pops it into there. She's not even sure if she's not sure what this is a god to, just that she felt good after.
Yeah. And as soon as you release that coin and it tumbles into the bowl and clatters among some of the other coins, you feel that positivity coursing through you again.
Meanwhile, Learas just walks up and flicks a coin into it.
That also
drag
works.
Of a cigarette.
Yeah.
Wasted.
Wade will casually saunter up to the statue and try to flick the coin in with his fingers, trying to act all cool.
Performance?
Do you want to roll for it?
Oh yeah. Let's see, that's an 11.
Yeah, you kind of go a little hard, and it clatters into the barrel or into the bowl and almost knocks a couple of other coins out, but it does land in.
Oh, that went really hard, Wade.
Yeah, that's how you do it. Then Learas is just like, wait, it's better if you don't brag about it afterwards. Just do it and walk away. like it's a piece of cake.
I do like cake.
Cake is nice. All right, I've lost him. He just turns and heads back to Thomas Fullbarrel.
Speaking of cake, if there's any sort of cake-like dessert, Cam is going to be sitting there at the table now with eating this because she's that impressionable.
So yeah, there's a little cloak behind the bar with part of a leftover cake from yesterday in it.
She looks a little bit sad that it's carrot cake, but she still eats it.
It's It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's despite being a day old, it's still moist and flavorful.
You have something to say, Shanks?
Nope.
Okay.
I got bonked for the last thing I said, so.
So, what exactly are we going to do then after all of that?
Well, we wait for our reward from the Hall of Weave, and then I do have some script I'd like to bring back to Alvitende and see if she can read it for us. Other than that, the only other thing on my radar is I've got a bunch of toenails I want to bring to a potion making friend in the woods. So
I think Cam looks at Thomas and is like, I bet our conversations sound very strange out of context.
Well, when you're in the adventure and lifestyle, a lot of things sound strange out of context, don't they?
It's like, how would I even explain to anybody what just happened at the Hall of Weave?
I don't really know. I've been tracking down a man who turned out to be made out of moss for the last 3 months. So, if you want to talk about strange things.
The man was made out of moss, or the moss you found.
Or maybe the moss was made out of man.
Up a moss up.
Hard to say, really. Either way, he seems to be dead now, and hopefully he stays that way.
Did you kill him?
No, you did. We're talking about Jacob here.
Oh.
maybe he was trying to hint at that and he just had a lisp.
And you're just finally, he was just tired of everybody pronouncing it wrong when he's like, he just snapped.
Wow.
No, but really, do you think there was an actual Jacob Amatha at any point that maybe was killed, or do you think that maybe he was taken over by whatever this is, or do you think that this was just entirely an infiltrator from the beginning?
Well, if I'd have to say, that's a really good question. I don't really know. I'm inclined to think he was an infiltrator for the beginning, but that's more of a gut feeling than anything based on a lack of evidence to the contrary.
Well, given that we discovered he was our suspect, and not only that, but the guilty one so late in the investigation, we never really spent any time looking into him. Did he have an original address or anything of that nature? Place of birth on his records? Is there a Mrs. Amatha out there somewhere wondering where her boy is?
Well, of course, we'll need to fully investigate his office and any residences that are associated with him. But far as we know, he's from a little town up on the peninsula, hardly worthy of having a name. Rolled into town about 15 years ago.
So do you think he just took his name after the peninsula then?
Seems like it.
Everything's pointing in that direction.
Yes.
I don't know that we're prepared to go there. So do you guys feel prepared? She looks at Wade and Learas.
Oh. If we hadn't confronted Jacob Amatha in the hall, I don't think we were prepared to face him.
That's what I was thinking, and who knows what's out there.
It did seem hard on both of you. He wasn't able to touch me, but... Though I did feel like I wasn't really contributing as much as I normally do. That's why I requested that the hall provide me with some better blades, something that will cut anyone the way I need it to.
I don't think it's that you weren't contributing. Sometimes sometimes, like, what you're capable of isn't what's best in the moment, or what's, the right tool.
Exactly, which is why I need a better tool.
I gave them a list. I had their, being someone who studies in magic, there's just too many things that come to mind when someone mentions magic items.
So you're giving them a list in hopes that they'll give you just a dozen magic items?
I'm giving them a list to say, if you can't find this one, here's another thing that I find might be interesting or helpful in the situation they've been in.
I can think of a number of things that would be... Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying I could think of a number of things that would be useful to me, but after that fight, it's clear that our enemies are likely to be resistant to what I do best unless I upgrade. But sorry, I didn't mean to take over there.
There's spells that can help enhance weapons magically, but for some strange reason, it only feels like you can apply it to one weapon at a time.
That would limit what I do. Though it could come in handy if we're ever fighting at range again. My bow isn't magic after all.
Well, I was just thinking, we've been going out onto the water a lot. And we've kind of had to work around me. So something to help with that would be really nice, I think, for all of us.
That's a very insightful one.
Yes. We know our enemies are connected to the water, so...
Yeah, I don't want to be dragging behind while you guys are fighting big undersea creatures. I imagine it's still really difficult to fight underwater, though, isn't it? Even when you can swim?
I find it's not too bad, so long as you stick to piercing weapons. All you have to do is thrust.
Oh.
Usually I just have to see my opponent to cast a spell at it. Sometimes it might not work underwater, but, I think generally it does.
I've never tried to cast a spell underwater, so well, I guess I did. No, I guess light is sort of a different thing, though. Not like tossing a bolt of energy through the water. I don't know how that would work. But I don't have any piercing weapons, so I guess we'll figure it out when we get there.
Well, perhaps while we're in town, we should buy you a trident just in case we find ourselves underwater.
Ooh. I think I would look pretty cool with one.
I agree.
I say as I
Little
check
tiara.
what kind of... Actually, her pick is piercing. Does that count?
By the rules, yes, technically.
It's just piercing damage that's the problem? Or that's the thing that works?
That's how it works with the rules, yeah.
That's weird.
Otherwise,
it works a little bit differently if you have a swim speed. If you have a swim speed, melee weapons don't have disadvantage underwater, I believe.
Really?
Huh.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense either.
Hey, you know what?
Maybe you're able to use your body's momentum to add. I don't know.
You can spin in place really well underwater now.
Imagine trying to swing a hammer underwater, like you would just spin around. All right. Well, Thomas, what's next for the weave then?
Well, that's one thing. If Mr. Wade here decides to and the rest of the hall agrees to extend that position to him, there's some benefits that come with that. Limited access to the resources of the hall, some office space of your own, and a moderate stipend to fund your research of 40 gold pieces per week, if that sweetens the deal at all. So,
Can't hear you.
You're coming through garbled.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes.
yes.
I said money is always helpful.
Isn't it just? And then there'll be some internal politics to handle. It sounded like, well, you heard him say the same thing that I did about maybe stepping down as the head. But we'll see what happens with that. And then I think the next thing for the hall is to try and muster some forces to prepare for whatever's coming. I don't expect whoever is behind whatever's going on, I don't suspect this is the last we've seen.
I agree. We're still looking for this Soluvian character.
We've already seen them encroaching on to the harbor as well here, so at least some of the creatures that seem to be influenced by whatever's happening.
Yeah, I felt like this place used to be safe, a few years ago, and in a matter of, days, a week, it's all just turned topside.
Yeah, things have gotten very interesting very quickly, which I don't like. But I think we're going to try and gather allies. I suggest that you do the same, gather allies, gather tools, gather information. That's what we're going to be working on, and if we can coordinate our efforts on that, all the better.
Well, that's our next steps. We've got some allies to meet up with, some information to gather, and I don't know, maybe we'll be ready to storm the fort sooner than later, and maybe not. There are other things we still have to look into.
So keep us informed of what you're working on, and I'll pass on any findings to you.
I'm sure you have plenty of wizards capable of sending to us should you need us urgently.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
And it's about at this moment that you hear the door open, and a louder, deeper voice kind of booms out. It says, "Oh, good, y'all are still here." And you turn and see the captain of the guard, Wallace Bernhard, with entering into the tavern. He says, "I've been looking for you. So some of my men on the island out there told me their account of the battle with the sea serpent, told me you found all this information out from, you traversed the island and made a report back about that. Something about some intelligent rats. That was interesting. Well, none of these things officially had bounties out on them, but given that they would have, if we knew about them, we talked to the mayor, got some city funds directed to you." And he walks up and tosses a leather pouch down onto the table. Say, bounties for the things that you have relieved us of, as well as a finder's fee for discovering that they were threats in the first place. So don't spend it all in one place.
Oh, they actually like to be called Squeaker of the Swarm, and they prefer the term we or them.
That's interesting.
Well,
Well,
thank you.
Yes, I'm grateful for your assistance. This wasn't necessary, but it certainly will help us with continuing our efforts to protect the city.
Good. Well,
Unexpected boon.
we'll consider it an investment if you don't think it's necessary.
I can accept that.
And at some point, if you count out the money inside, you will find 300 platinum pieces.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Ooh. Take 100 each of those. That's
Yes.
a good fucking stipend right there.
Ching.
So I was thinking, let's go buy a ship.
You can afford one now.
Can I? What would a decent ship cost? I know a warship's like 30,000 gold, which is still.
Yeah,
Well,
I guess it depends on what kind you want.
We'll figure that out later. Well, looks like things are finally starting to look up a little bit.
We were told 600 to 700 gold last time we talked about this, and like 5 gold pieces a day for something I wrote down. I don't know what that is.
for manning it, I think it was.
Okay.
Actually, that might have been just for the captain, that kind of thing. So it might be more for an additional crew. But typically, like, unskilled labor is like a silver a day, so you might be able to get a decent sized crew for another couple gold.
Sorry, what was Learas' question before I cut you off? Or what did you say?
I forget.
Okay.
So
Cool.
I said things are certainly starting to look up.
I mean, this kind of was my goal before I met you guys, and
To be given 1,000 gold or 100 platinum pieces?
well, just money in general.
Well, now that you have it, what's your plan?
I guess it would. Before it would have been like, buy a nice house and like pretty things to go inside it, but I rarely stop anywhere. Though we do have rooms at Alvitende's. Maybe we could make them not look like she's like, well, I guess the Neth isn't here, but like complete pieces of garbage that have had water thrown on it.
Yeah, I agree. Is that where you want to be, though? Way up in the mountains like that?
As long as I could come and go,
I suppose.
I did grow up in a mountain. I'm quite comfortable there, but I was not allowed to really go anywhere.
Oh no, the mountains are a bit cold for me.
Guess that is a bit of a problem for you, isn't it?
Maybe if it was more of an acidic environment, I'd feel more at home.
I bet if you had asked unless he would have doused your room in acid.
But then he'd just be cold and have acid. I don't know. I was thinking of maybe purchasing a building down on the old docks. Fix it up, make it into something special.
I like a headquarters.
Yeah, a headquarters / tavern or something. I don't know. Something that draw people back to the old docks.
Well, and at your comment of that, Jacob, well, if it's property in the old docks you're after, that can be had very cheaply, depending on how much work you're willing to put in.
Well, that's what I figured, and, well, I'm not much of a builder myself, but I could certainly afford to hire some.
Well, the place to inquire about that is the Hall of Writs.
Well, maybe before we go, we should head down to the Ritz.
God damn it. Is Carlton here?
Well, now that you mention it, I am blue, and I don't know where to go.
It does sound nice.
Think-
I've been crashing at Wade's house for the last couple of years, so
You just been sleeping at his house for years?
yeah. Well, I only came down from the mountains about 2 years ago, and I don't know. I spent a night at Wade's, and then he didn't say anything about leaving, so I just kept staying there.
Hmm. And Wade, you've been all right with this?
Yeah, there's room.
I guess you got lucky then.
I guess so.
I think I could use some of the funds to learn that spell that I forgot about, the dimension door.
How does that
Certainly
work
afford to.
exactly?
You know, it's strange, but I think you need to spend some money on some special ink and stuff to scribe it into your book, your spell book, and then you got to spend time learning about how to manipulate the weave to make the spell operate.
If you just used regular ink, it wouldn't work at all. It would just be a picture. It does nothing.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I mean, you can learn how to, scribe that picture with the ink, but I think there's some special properties that you need.
Have you ever messed up a spell? Like you put like one wrong mark and then it just did your fireball blow up on you?
Well, it's always practice. You gotta be very, very careful with how you write the spells down in the book.
I'm gonna lean over to Learas. He didn't say that it didn't blow up on him.
Yes, I caught that also. Sorry, go ahead.
Not my more recent spells. No, Fireball is, it's not a lower level spell. I think when you're first learning cantrips and like beginner level spells, that's probably when you make more mistakes, and then you learn to be more careful about scribing spells into your book.
So you're saying there's no way for you to fail now?
I would never say never, and that. Well, wait, I just said it twice, but I'm saying I'm a lot more careful when it comes to that sort of thing. That's why this spell will take approximately 16 hours to scribe.
Wow. I've never thought that much about magic. Granted, I can't do what you can do, but I can cast some interesting forms of magic, and all I have to do is really think about it, and it happens.
I mean, you're a lot more capable. Without magic, you're just as capable as I am, if not more so.
That was a really nice thing to say.
I just think it's the truth.
I've honed my body more than my magical prowess, that's for sure. I appreciate it.
If you do show it off every time you get the chance to.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, I just thought,
What? You thought what? What do you mean?
Well, I mean, it seems like whenever opportunity arises, you your shirt goes missing.
Oh, I didn't realize that was making people uncomfortable. I'm just very comfortable with, having the air on my skin, it's quite soothing.
It doesn't make me uncomfortable. It is just an observation I've had.
Hmm. I just thought that was what people do.
I mean, I don't.
I suppose that's fair.
I believe that may be more of a cultural norm than.
Do you not wear a lot of clothing when you're underwater?
It does make it harder to move around, though I'm adept at doing so now, but I do prefer not to.
I guess I don't like when my socks are like wet. Well, I'm walking around and stuff. So I think it would be even worse to have your whole clothing wet all the time.
Yes, exactly.
They just remove the socks.
Well, even sometimes when I'm out wandering in the woods on the surface and everything, I'll take off my shirt and my socks and my boots and, just kind of enjoy the feeling of nature.
I guess it's different for me because I grew up somewhere that it was mostly cold.
It's cold where I grew up as well.
In a different sort of way, though. You're not going to get like burned by the frost, right?
I suppose not. The water does sap a lot of heat energy out of you, though, if you're not careful.
Well, like you remember when we were up in the mountains and there was just constant cold hitting our face? That's kind of how that was.
Yeah, I can see how that might become unpleasant after a while. Well, Thomas, if you have nothing else for us, perhaps we should move on and stop drinking the day away.
Well, that's entirely your prerogative. I'd say you've earned a day of rest after what you've done for everybody in town. But if you want to keep at it, I'm not going to stop you.
I think I'd feel too restless sitting here when there's so much to be done.
Good. Well, you can expect your... Is there some place we should bring you your items that we promised you, or do you want to come pick them up from the hall later?
Well, we think we can pick them up from the hall.
All right. Should be probably have them all together some point this afternoon. You can come get them anytime after that.
Perfect. Gives us time to do business in town.
Just gonna stop the sun from being directly on me.
Wait, was there anything you needed to do before we get moving? Perhaps you need to purchase some inks for your book?
Yes, that's something I would need to do. Although I suppose I could do that at the hall.
Oh, that's true. In fact, that might even come with your new position, although I guess you don't officially have it just yet.
Yet.
So, obviously Alvitende is one, but who else should we be gathering as our allies as we go? We did make some friends up north as well. I don't know if they're the adventuring type, though.
Yeah, I don't know if we can count on them to come down from the mountains to fight a battle that hasn't affected them yet. Though, who knows? Broxl, perhaps, may be able to assist us further. From afar, most likely.
You know what I was thinking about?
No, not at all.
You weren't there when we found the figurine of Alvitende and the dragon.
Correct.
What I'm wondering is if there was a time difference between the two.
Or if they were both picked up at the same time.
Around the same time. Because if that's the case, then Alvitende, I would,
You may know who
I
the
would
dragon
hope
is.
that, yes. So, I mean, I'm just curious. Maybe, to be honest, I just want to release the dragon and find stuff out. But I know that's not, you know, we've learned that there are consequences to doing stuff like that.
Yes. If the dragon happens to be of an evil persuasion, that could be disastrous.
Out of character, in like episode 10, we talked to Alvitende about this,
We did, yes.
right? And she mentioned that dragon, the Shinebringer. Were we under the assumption that this was the same dragon in the...
I think we believe it might be the Shinebringer, but again, like, you don't want to just unleash a dragon
We didn't.
before being sure.
Yeah, and we didn't have the figurine on us at the time when we talked to her.
Right, but now that we do, we can show it to her.
Mm.
Okay.
I also wonder, they have been attacking through the water, I know that, but what if they start attacking if they come around the bay? I'm wondering if maybe I should talk to my dad, since he kind of watches over the shifting wood, which is between Crystal Harbor and Fort Oss.
That might be helpful. I do believe there's a path that doesn't go directly through the woods, if I remember correctly.
He did seem to watch me from the river, though. And we could see the shifting woods as we went along, so as long as it's not too far, maybe he... Though he did mention that his power was kind of being stretched thin right now, so I don't know.
Like I said, it's not worth, or it's not pointless. It's certainly worth discussing with him.
I don't know how to get in full contact with him, though. Sometimes it's just very random, and but I can try.
Well, perhaps it's time we actually headed into the woods.
Oh.
Grandmother's house we go?
No, her father. Pay attention, Wade.
I suppose we could do that. Should we do that first and then like ask Alvitende to come get us, or should we go to Alvitende first? Because we have multiple things to do there.
You know, maybe it's about time. Maybe it's about time, you know, Alvitende takes stops by where we're at.
Well, another thing we have to consider is Cam wanted to head west and check on her mother.
Well, I mean, sure, but I don't know how long that's going to take. That goes right through the mountains.
Yes, I know.
How far away is that?
But it's maybe worth checking before it's too late.
You think something bad's going to happen?
I don't know, but I know it matters to you. We've dealt with a lot here. We've given these people a foot up that they had not had, and we've taken care of the infiltrator on the Hall of Weave. I think they're better suited than ever to hold the line for a little bit.
I guess one thing that strikes me is that it kind of sounded like she went through the mountains, and then I've heard bad things about the other side of the mountains from where I lived, and rather than the road that goes around it, or maybe I just misinterpreted it.
No, I've also heard terrible things. That's why trade has died down so much. But we do what we have to do in town. Maybe we check in with Broxl. We teleport ourselves to, or rather have her draw us to her. From there, we can head west if you want to check on your mother, and if not, we can head northeast from the mountains and go through the shifting wood.
I guess that is smart to kind of use that to cut down on the walking time to the mountain. Okay. So after this, then Broxl? This being our time in town?
Yes.
All right. So where's the first stop in town?
All of it?
All over it. Yeah, sure.
All right. Of cracker fame. I can't not hear it now.
Cheese with me. Yeah.
All right, and you head across town back to the Four Corners of Law and enter into the Hall of Writs, another large government building. There is a young woman sat behind a desk in there with short, curly brown hair who looks up at you when you come in. Good afternoon. What can I do for you today? Learas, right?
Yes, that's right. I'm not collecting bounties today, though.
Okay. This is a woman you've probably interacted with a couple of times and collecting bounties, other things. This is Matilda Wheatflow.
Wheatflow?
Matilda Wheatflow.
Yep.
I have so many random NPC names just written down with no context.
If you're not bringing in bounties, what brings you in today?
Well, I actually have sort of an unusual request. I would look at the properties for sale on the old docks.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you don't get a lot of requests for that, but
I can imagine.
She turns behind her. There's some bookcases behind this desk, some shorter ones, and she pulls a large ledger that has collected a little bit of dust off of it and puts it down on the table or on the desk. Well, spend as much time as you like going through it. There's not, the records in the old docks aren't great, but there are a few properties that are for sale, all extremely affordable. So let us know if there's anything that strikes your fancy.
All right. So I'd like to look for a sizable stone building that would be big enough to have a good-sized tavern and plenty of room up top for just us. I don't want it to be an inn as well. Just
want to
space
get
for
drunk
us
and sleep.
to leave. Only we go upstairs.
So there is one building for sale that meets that description. It's referred to as the Castle. It is about halfway between Brilliant and Baubles and where the wall separates the old port from the ore docks.
And how much is it listed for?
Well, so that is a good question. I'm putting a stamp on the map right now where the castle is. So
I don't have that up. Maybe
that's okay. I'm not sharing it
again. Oh, okay.
I'm putting a stamp on the map in Incarnate, the map maker I use. Not sponsored.
Not sponsored.
Yes.
Although we should reach out to them.
And I'll put a few pictures that represent it. These are not present in the ledger, but I have put a few pictures that represent it in the Tides Discord chat.
Okay, cool. Ooh, fancy.
And well, so we tried to set up a little bit of a redevelopment program in the area. You can have the property, taxes paid, no strings attached, for 1,000 gold pieces, or we will sell it to you for 10 gold pieces on the promise that you repair it and redevelop it inside of a year.
Oh, absolutely. I'll take the 10 gold pieces. It'll be repaired within a year.
suddenly a bunch of crabs come infesting it every week.
I mean, I can just stand in front of it and gain experience all week. That's fine.
Right, well, I'll draw up the paperwork. Just give me a few minutes, and the castle will be yours.
Sounds great. I can't believe the price difference there, but
We're really trying to discourage real estate speculation and getting properties back into the hands of people that are actually going to use them.
I wonder if it's worth buying another building then, if under the same promise.
Well, that's up to you. It is kind of costly to get these things redeveloped. If you've got the resources for it, we'd welcome it.
Maybe we start with one for now.
We know the approximate value to hire contractors to repair and redevelop building.
Well, it depends on what kind of a state it's in. Most of the available properties under this plan that are actually being sold by the city that were repossessed for unpaid taxes. Usually, people just abandon the property. You're probably looking at thousands of gold to measure it, and how much it would cost to fix it back up. Especially if you're looking to open a place of purveyance to get it up to code and all that. It'd be pretty expensive.
All right. Well, no matter what, this deal is set. I'm 100% on board. But if I were to, say, purchase a portion of the docks as well, with the intention of opening them up again to traffic, would you be willing to extend that out to 2-year promissory to repair and build up?
Just like one of the old abandoned, fallen down docks?
Yeah, whatever one's nearest to the castle. And
well, you're probably looking about 2 blocks away would be the nearest one. But I'll tell you what. We hadn't been selling the docks. We'd kind of considered those condemned property to be demolished at some point. But if you want to take one on, I don't see any reason why the city would be opposed to that.
Perfect. Because that's all I need to get this segment of town roaring again. Just those 2 pieces.
Well, I'll draw up some paperwork for that as well. And I guess that'll be 20 gold. And you've got 2
Sounds
years
good.
to fix them both up. Otherwise, there may be some fines.
You want to pay that all by yourself, Learas?
Yes, I do. Hoping that maybe in time other people, including you two, might be wanting to invest further in this part of town as well. But for now, I think it's my duty.
Well, I'd give you the keys, but there aren't any. So I'll just give you this paper.
All right, thank you. And he gives her the 20 gold and very carefully tucks those papers away. I'm going to need a safe place to store these with what we do.
Gives them the keys. We arrived there. There's no doors to be seen anywhere.
Here's the keys. If you can find the doors, you're welcome to put them back.
Right. Yeah, you are now the proud owner of the castle and the idea of a dock.
All right, I'll write that down.
Is this where we would go to hire people to start to repair and redevelop?
This being the Hall of Writs.
Yes.
you'd probably find more of those people across the street in the Hall of Works, the de facto Artisans Guild headquarters.
We stopped by there
Yes.
too.
Yeah, if you don't mind. Sorry to kind of tie up a portion of this day with something that seems kind of irrelevant to what we're doing. It just...
Oh, this is a investment in the future.
You just hear Cam behind you. Stormkeep Tavern. No. Or Maelstrom Keep. She's like-
You hear a distant voice on the wind. I like that first one. And yeah, it's just a quick jaunt across the street into the Hall of Works. The smell of burning charcoal and various different chemicals and artisanry going on is apparent in this whole area, coming mostly from this hall. But you enter in there and there's much more noise and activity coming from various different rooms in this building than there are in any of the other halls.
Right.
But the familiar figure of Fossus Emberfoot, the dwarf you met last time you were here, greets you.
Fossus, good to see you.
Good to see you too. Don't come in here very often.
No, I've never owned property before.
And Cam, been a while.
Hi. Yeah, I've been very busy.
That's good. That's what we like to hear.
What's your
Fortunately,
connection?
well, this is where I usually spend most of my time.
So she works in the Hall of Works.
Oh,
They do some light healing sometimes, kind of like house calls.
oh, that's nice.
Plus, I'm really strong, so sometimes that comes in handy.
There's a lot of heavy things that need moving. Cam's good at that.
Okay.
Speaking of that,
Yes.
Learas,
Big way.
Thanks for keeping me on target, Wade. I'd like to hire some laborers. I've just purchased the castle in the Ordocks, and I would appreciate if I could get some people out there to drop some plans, clear it out, and start rebuilding.
The castle.
Yep.
Quite a piece of work. Did you look at it before you bought it?
I looked at the schematics and sketches they had in the hall. I have spent time on the Ordocks. I've seen it.
All right, well, then you know what you're in for. All right, that place is a piece of work, but if there's anybody who can fix it up, they're here.
What happened there that made everything fall apart?
Time, mostly.
Everyone just left.
Yeah. Not a lot of shipping anymore. Not a lot of reason to keep those business offices open if nothing's coming in and out of the docks.
Well, we're
Fair
going to change
enough.
that.
Well, wouldn't be the first time I heard that, but you seem more committed.
Well, I'm the last of my line, so it probably is the last time you're going to hear it, whether I succeed or not.
Well, it'd be nice if it was the last time I needed to hear it, at the very least. So, yeah, that place is going to need a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of time to fix it up. Anything you're looking to do with it? Anything to start with?
I want the first floor to be a tavern.
All right. Tavern.
Warm, cozy, lots of wood. I understand that the structure of the building is sound. It's just mostly the insides that need work.
Yeah, it should be pretty sound. They need to close it back up. All the windows are blown out. Doors are missing.
Yeah, it needs a lot of work, I'm sure. Upstairs, I'm thinking some bedrooms, some, living rooms, training room perhaps. Not for public, just for us.
Sure. Well, you got 3 stories and a relatively flat roof in that building.
Well, I may have more ideas as I think about it. This kind of happened on a whim, and so I'm
Hey, well,
not
I'll tell
quite
you what.
sure what to ask for at this stage.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you want to manage it yourself, that's fine. If you want someone at the hall to act as a general contractor on your behalf and get this all drawn up, we can do that as well. If you want that, we'll start with you put 200 gold down on it. We'll get it closed in.
All right.
Get the weather shell of the building up so no more rain comes inside. Fix any leaks, things like that, and then we can go from there with drawing up a plan.
Perfect. Yeah. To do that, clear out the debris, drop a plan. Let me see it before we proceed beyond that. And,
All right.
And that's good with me. Place 20 platinum on the desk.
All right. Well, we will get started.
Perfect.
Just a couple of weeks.
Sign anything?
If you want, we can draw something up.
I trust you guys.
All right. You know where to find us if you're unhappy, so we try to do our best.
Yep, I do.
What about the second portion?
Oh,
Would you
I'm dealing with
later?
that next year, or once this one's complete anyway. I needed the extra year because I don't know how long this is going to take and how much money it's going to cost me. But right now I'm focusing on the one, and as soon as it's done, I'm investing everything in the next part.
All right.
Maybe by then we'll have a boat to put at the dock.
Exactly.
Right. So now you have hired a general contractor to remove debris and replace the windows in a
Yeah.
building that you own. D&D, everybody.
The only place that Shanks and I will own something.
Yeah, this is a fantasy, and I want to own some fucking property.
Right. Anything else in town, or are we heading now to go traverse through the forest south of town near Luspiali to find Broxl, or heading
How
out
long was that
towards
journey?
Alvitende? It was you were able to get most of the way there and back in a day that first time that you were trying to find him. So it's about half a day to get there.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So my thinking is let's finish up everything in town, including picking up our gear from the Hall of Weave. Then we'll head out, and then we can ask Alvitende to teleport us. Even if we have to travel through the dark a little bit, that should be fine for us.
Right. So if they aren't going to be done our stuff until the afternoon, is there other things we can do here, or are we going to say we had lunch at Wade's house and then skip ahead?
Well, we need ink, but that'll probably be at the Hall of Weave anyway.
Yeah.
I don't really think there's anything else I need. Unless, is there any place that might have like +1 leather armor or anything in town, or no?
Let me see.
I'm also realizing that my spiritual weapon is what was taking the shape of a war pick, and I'm carrying a war hammer. So
That's what I thought.
is there somewhere where there's I could get a trident?
Roll a d20 for me.
Who? Me?
Vix.
Okay.
8.
8. I would say you've got a +5 to your wisdom modifier right now?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't even know why I made you roll for it with that. I'd say you would remember that you saw something that kind of resembled a trident leading up behind the counter in Brilliant Baubles. It was not particularly shiny, so it probably didn't capture your attention at the time, but there is at least one trident for sale at Brilliant Baubles that has a strange design.
I think it would all look pretty strange to her, but I think when she thinks about that, she's like, "Oh, maybe I should pick up a different weapon. Just in case. I know we're not going straight to the water, but while we're here,
It's not like it's going to slow you down at all, and frankly, I think tridents are very regal, underutilized weapons.
that seemed very personal. Is that like
I mean, tridents are sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? The sort of picturesque Triton weapon.
oh. I could see that for sure. You think it'll you think I'll look strange with one then?
No, in fact, I think it'll look great.
Yes, I checked.
By all means.
There was definitely like a hesitation there. She's
It's a little
I
bit
rolled
too into it.
natural one.
Oh,
I have a +8, but
I still think that's not learning anything.
I think what he's saying is that you will look rather majestic with a trident.
Yes, that's all I'm saying.
Oh. I mean, I look like that regardless, especially during battle. At least that's the way I picture myself.
I agree completely. And just, I don't know, having sort of the signature weapon of my people in hand might enhance that.
And it might lend well to like when we're underwater, because I think it would just look very cool, you know, with my new armor and everything. I wasn't sure about it at first, but and also she's walking and talking if we need to.
That has to be assumed with this party every time.
Yeah, she's just like going on about her new outfit and how she wasn't so sure about it, but it's like really growing on her. And then she's like, and when I did my magic, I could like feel it change to the way that I felt inside. It was really cool.
That really does sound amazing. I hope to one day recover some armor that my people used to make. Really special stuff.
Oh. It would be nice,
So-
especially because there's not many Tritons left.
Well, here, yes. In the Outer Bay, I hope there's still many.
I'm just imagining Learas reuniting with his school of Tritons.
This is my friend from school.
Wow.
indeed.
Oh, you were educated together? No, we just swam together.
Right, yeah. So, you know, you spend some time walking across town through the ore docks. Do you want to swing by your place on the way?
Yeah, may as well take a quick look at it if we're going
Yeah.
past it.
Yeah, it's pretty well on the way from where you are. So, on the way to Brilliant Baubles, you decide to swing past your new property, and it matches the description pretty well, written out in the ledger of available properties. The castle is a 3-story building with sort of a shallow basement. It's kind of hard to get too deep down here, so close to the water. All the windows are blown out. There's no doors to be found. Some of the stonework looks like it's starting to maybe loosen up a little bit, but it still looks structured. Some of the cosmetic stonework, the facade, that's the word I'm looking for, starting to loosen, is crumbled in places. If you poke your head inside, it smells like mildew. All of the plaster has fallen off of the ceiling. The stairs from the second floor to the first floor have collapsed down into the basement. It's mostly just a standing shell of a building. It feels fairly dangerous to be inside of. The lighthouse looked like it might be in better shape than this.
Now, I'm certain I already know the answer here. Is there any way the mending spell might...
There is a way. It will take a lot of time.
he picks like one brick he finds that's cracked and just like mends it. There we go.
That brick
I
is
see.
now in one piece.
On our way already.
That was very symbolic.
Yeah, I thought so.
I can't wait to see what they do with this place, especially with the way you described it.
Yeah, I think we have an opportunity to do something really cool here. We'll have to think about other things we can utilize the top floor for. And I intend to make rooms for all of us, but certainly we have more that room available. So,
Well, you seem to like the indoor waterfall at Wade's house. Maybe something like a bath area would be like that we can just relax in when we're done our long trips.
that does sound nice. Wait, how do they pump the water up into your house like that?
I wonder if there's just a bunch of people at the Hollow Works who are just constantly shaping water into some sort of underground system.
Maybe they have sort of like a big water bellows and they're all just kind of standing on it and jumping up and down.
It sounds fun. I wish they would ask me to do that.
Right, Cam, it's your turn on the water pump bicycle.
I would love that. It's like pushing a button over and over again.
All right, well, we've seen it, we know what to expect, and we've already started the repairs, so off to Brilliant and Baubles.
Boss, I hope that tridents aren't too difficult for me to try to wield compared to what I'm used to.
Well, if you need any instruction, I can always teach you.
I would like that.
Would you just like, I don't know, pick it up and stab?
But I'm
I
used
mean,
to going like
difficult in that.
this. Is that how you would use that?
Well, no, that's not the ideal way to use it. Different muscle groups, but I'll show you.
Show me how to use it, or you show me the muscle groups.
I can do both. Takes the shirt off.
I told you. How many hands you get?
You asked.
I'm just picturing like when people show each other how to do sports by like holding
Yeah, it's
from
definitely gonna be
behind.
like a ghost situation, but with a trident.
Yeah. But Learas is like this much shorter than her.
You can't see his head, you just see his arms come around her. Oh, fuck.
And it's a very short walk to Brilliant Baubles from the castle. You figure that if you were even on the second story, you'd probably be able to see their building from here.
Oh, cool.
That's convenient.
Yeah.
It's a place we go a lot.
Yeah, they are open for business, and you enter in and you see Brilliant behind the counter, the one with green eyes.
I cleared them out of glitter last time, but I
Yeah.
check anyway as I pass.
Looks like they made some more. There's more.
All right, she's gonna grab like 3 vials. Very casually, just like it's routine now. And her eyes are kind of like scanning around for the trident that she saw, and she's just like, "Oh, hi.
Hey, more glitter already?
Well, I'm not out yet, but I don't know how. I don't know when I will be back."
It's good to be prepared. You don't want to run out of glitter.
You really don't. It's very awful every time I've found my vials empty.
Just nods very knowingly, somberly. Wait, have you ever run out of glitter?
Never run out of glitter.
You sound underwater.
I sound like
Oh,
I'm
you-
underwater. I mean,
Okay,
I've never run out of glitter, but I do believe that glitter has many uses. We just haven't seen them all yet.
What do you use it for?
Like I said, I don't really use glitter. I just observe Cam using the glitter.
I see.
I imagine that if you came across like an invisible enemy and you just like threw the glitter, that you could like create an outline of the invisible enemy.
That's actually rather brilliant. I
that
wouldn't
would
have thought of that.
save me a use
What's that?
of some of my magic.
Oh, you were using the word. You said brilliant. That's her name.
Oh yeah, I didn't catch on to that.
I did too late. But that's more in character for Cam. I noticed an interesting weapon that you had here, and I've been told that that kind of weapon's good to use underwater. She's gonna point it out if it's still up.
Oh. Yeah, it's like kind of half. It's like in the back and in a corner and half covered in stuff. You can only see two of the prongs poking out. Like, oh, that'll. Yeah, I've been meaning to spend more time with that, but it's not very shiny.
Oh, yeah, that would deter me a lot too. But I have heard that it's useful, so.
Also
Yeah,
have glitter.
Baubles seem to be more into it than I am, but she starts moving some of these cases out of the way, just like things falling over, and pulls this large trident out from behind this pile of stuff. It seems like a little bit heavy for her, and stumbles backwards a little bit and puts it down on the counter. Now you can see it might not be very shiny, but it appears to be very well made. It's the handle of it is inlaid with what looks like a spiraling design of little finely crafted coral beads running in sort of parallel spirals down the handle. And it's like, there's some kind of magic to this. I think it's something to do with fish.
Oh? How do we... Oh, I guess we could figure that out, couldn't we? Wait. Or is that a service you offer?
Let me see. Baubles figured it out. She like rifles through some. Oh yeah. She called this the Trident of Fish Command.
Oh. So I could have a bunch of like fish friends.
I think maybe one at a time.
Ooh. Is that offensive to you, Learas?
Oh no, I talk with fish all the time.
Yeah, but do you command them?
If I feel like it.
Okay. Well, if it's not offensive and it's useful, I would very much like to buy this. How much are you selling it for?
Well, it says here that she wants that much. Baubles wants us to sell this for 750 gold pieces.
That seems like a lot of money. Is there any way that we could perhaps bring that down just a bit? Especially
well,
because it seemed like it was really tucked back in the corner and not a
Yeah,
feature item.
It does look like it's going to need a little love and care, and we are the heroes of Zemali after all.
have one of y'all make a persuasion check with advantage.
Do
What?
you want me to do it?
Sure.
Oh, I am sorry I did not roll well, but that's a 15.
That's not terrible. She is friendly to you. Yeah, she probably won't even notice that it's missing. It's been back there so long. I could probably do 500.
And that would be how many platinum again?
50.
50.
I can chip in if you need it.
I think I'm fine. You spent a lot of money on that property today.
Not really. Besides, I don't really... Before today, I haven't really had much need for money, so...
Here, I'm just gonna... She will accept your help.
All right, I'm going to give her... let's say 100 gold.
Alrighty.
What helps you helps the party, so...
Okay, she's going to put then... What's that, 40 platinum?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
She'll put that down. And remove.
And while you're counting out the money, Brilliant's kind of reading through the description of this item that Baubles wrote in this book. So, wow, this would have been really useful the night that the crabs attacked.
No kidding.
I don't think that our encounters with ocean creatures is quite done yet, so I think it'll
This will definitely come in handy.
And I wonder, what is it made out of, David? Like, what kind of?
So
it like-
the handle is made out of some kind of metal. Difficult to determine which just at a glance, but it looks like the prongs themselves are also made out of sharpened coral.
Okay.
And to accentuate the detailing down the haft.
Is it like silver colored
Yes.
metal? Okay. Cool. Well,
Brilliant. Oh, go ahead, Ken.
I was just going to. She places down another additional gold piece, just so you keep restocked on the glitter next time I come in.
I've always got glitter for you.
There you go, babe.
So yeah, you can add a
Brilliant.
trident of fish command to your inventory.
Do you happen to have any trinkets or curiosities around?
Oh yeah, all kinds. Is there anything in particular you're looking for?
I don't know, anything that might be helpful. I don't know, do you have any... I know this was a magical item. Do you have any other like magical items that might be good with healing or help with magic in some sort of way?
Healing. I don't know about healing, but if you're, let's see. We've got, I don't know, what's your price range here? What are you looking to drop today?
I mean, maybe close to what Can spent here.
Okay. You got a few things in that area. And it reaches down in the display case and pulls up a tray with these maybe like pea-sized spheres of various different objects or various different materials in them, and says, some of these are going to be a little bit out of your price range, but this one, and this one probably be something with what you're looking for. So so this stone here, if you attune to this will improve your awareness of what's going on around you. This one here will make you more difficult for people to hit you if they're trying to cause you harm. And this one here can store a little bit of magic inside of it for use later.
Usually not the target of attacks. Do you know if would that work with you, Learas or Cam?
What's that? Making it harder to hit me?
Yeah.
I mean, it certainly wouldn't hurt.
In what way? Because I am already pretty difficult to hit, from what I can tell.
It'll provide a little bit of magical protection if anybody were to try and shoot a projectile or swing a sword or launch a spell at you. It'd give you a minor. So functionally here, this will give you a +1 to your armor class in exchange for an attunement slot.
Yeah, I figured as much. And how much does the stone cost?
So you could probably let that go. We could probably let any of these go for 500 as well. They're pretty hard to come by. So functionally, the options are these are Ioun stones, and there's Ioun Stone of Awareness, which gives you advantage on initiative rolls and perception checks, is one option. +1 to your armor class is another option, and the third one kind of functions like a spell storing ring a little bit, but it can only hold 4 levels of spells at a time.
A lot of my money's currently tied up in an investment on the ore docks. Actually, you can see it, just the castle over there.
Oh, you bought the castle?
Yes. And I have workers coming to start rebuilding, bring a lot of business back to this part of town.
That's such a cool building.
So is there any way you could do this for maybe 400?
I mean, 500's already kind of a discount.
We do bring you a lot of business.
You do. And make another persuasion check for me. This one's just going to be straight.
24.
All right, fine. You convinced me. 400.
Yes. I'm gonna 40 platinum pieces. Spending like crazy this episode.
I'm also realizing that my cloak might be an issue later.
Why?
Oh no, that cloak doesn't require attunement.
Oh, fair enough. Well, that's good.
All right, I will take the Ioun Stone and of the armor class 1.
The Ioun Stone of Protection.
Neat. My armor class is now the same as Cam's.
Ain't never gonna hit y'all with anything.
You'll still fuck us up with some mind shit, though.
Saving throws are where it's at.
I think I can purchase your little magic storing stone there.
All right, here you go. And this roughly marble-sized purple prism. It's the Ioun Stone of Reserve, if you want to add that to your character sheet.
As long as you don't have any reservations about it.
Right. I mean, you've already spent quite a lot of money today, but if you're interested in spending any more,
this will be the first place we come. Just make sure you keep your eyes out for things that might benefit daring adventurers like us.
Always am. And we've always got glitter.
She's already into her glitter stash like a little fiend.
Speaking of stuff like glitter, I mean, we're going to be going to the Hall of Weave, but I was wondering if you had any materials for scribing spells.
Oh, yeah, we got some things that could be prepared into the appropriate inks, but I'm happy to sell it to you. But between you and me, you're associated with the Hall, aren't you?
Yes, that's correct.
Probably be cheaper for you to get it there, but I'd be happy to sell it to you.
think I'd rather save my money for something else here next time.
Alrighty.
Appreciate the stone here.
Yeah, have fun with that. That sounds really useful.
You know, he's just going to store a 4th level fireball in it.
You can do whatever you want with it.
Little pyro of a water genasi. I
He's
just
like
think it's
Olaf.
neat. He loves all the hot things.
He spent his whole life wanting to visit the elemental plane of fire.
I know I shouldn't, but I just can't read it.
Right.
Does this stone currently have any spells stored in it?
It does not at present.
It was what exploded their shop earlier.
So
They're a
So that's what
fourth-level
this
fireball. Like a monster.
It was previously owned by Wade's father.
Well,
Wade's father immerse.
I think it's about time for us to take our break. We've been going for an hour and a half.
Of nonsense.
Yeah. It's been a while since you've not been like careening towards some imminent threat.
Yeah, it's nice to kind of just do this stuff and then kind of venture out with an unclear fucking direction.
All right. Well, let's do that then.
We'll be back here in a few minutes. I'm going to hydrate, and everybody else should too. Hello! Welcome back, everybody, to tonight's episode of Tides of Zemali here on Top Down Tabletop. I don't know about everyone else, but I am feeling refreshed and full of snacks, which is a good way to be. Right. Now, I believe you had just finished some shopping.
Yes.
Where to now?
To the Hall of Weave.
The Hall
of
Transition like Batman.
Yeah, so you hop over to the Hall of Weave, and you are there to pick up your things. Smew back behind the desk, seeming that Sissel may have been shaken by this morning's events, has been given the afternoon off, and the other Aarakocra porter is staffing the desk this afternoon. Why do I give myself so many of these different bird voices to do?
There's so many birds. I am realizing this.
Like
There's
half the
4.
NPCs are birds.
There are 4.
But then you also made a bird that Learas talked to that had like a Brooklyn accent in the forest.
It's true.
To be fair, he didn't make himself do that. I made him do that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Good distinction.
You're here to pick up your things? I take it?
That we are.
Takes out several small boxes from underneath the desk. He's been here for you for about an hour, so just in time.
Is everyone all right?
Oh, I had people who were a little bit shaken up, but nobody's severely injured. I think they're going to be okay.
Well,
Sorry.
Do you have something to say, Vix?
Hunter's just on a roll there.
Ah.
Hey, I'm squawking here.
I missed that.
we're glad that nobody was seriously injured in
I think if not,
call that.
think if not for everyone here, we probably would have been seriously injured. They really divided the attention of what was happening.
Well, that's good luck then.
Well, I think Learas kind of planned that. Well, we didn't expect what was going to happen. I thought maybe he would just get mad.
More or less, I was expecting a dangerous spellcaster, and I thought a couple extra casters in the room who could counterspell what he might do would be good. I didn't expect him to become what he became, and so I'm glad for my strategic thinking beforehand.
Well, it seems like it paid off, and you rid us of whatever Jacob actually was. It's good that that's not here anymore, from what I understand.
Couldn't agree more. Well, we're going to do what we can. Keep at it.
You're here for some stuff. And he'll open up these 3 boxes. The longer, thinner one he starts with, opens it up. This one's got your name on it, Learas, and inside of it is a pair of matched +1 short swords.
Very nice. He's going to tuck his short swords into his bag and then hook these up on his back and everything, kind of draw them out, feel out the weight and the balance.
Do they look any different than like regular swords?
How do you want them to look?
Well, I think I might actually change the positioning of them, but I think that they are kind of like in the Ninjato style, that the blade itself is kind of curved, but overall the structure of it is straight. It's got that sort of slashing edge to it, and that sort of harder metal on the center, and yeah, I think that's generally the overall design of it. It's kind of wrapped in cloth resembling like ray skin, and very nice silvery sheen to them.
Nice.
Those are very cool.
Yes, I think that these will do perfectly.
Right, and let's see. Wade, this one's got your name on it. Opens up the box, revealing a small amulet on a gold chain. You may add a periaptive wound closure.
Ooh, interesting.
That's
Your
pretty
equipment.
good.
And then the last one, it's kind of a square box. So then, Cam, this one's got your name on it here, and it kind of opens. This one kind of opens more like a crate, where the whole top half, or almost the entire box, comes off, leaving a small platform of wood on the table. And there's a resplendent headpiece in there. You would care to describe what your item looks like?
Yeah, it's kind of like, you know, those kind of like headpieces with the wings on the outside, except it's like in the shape of like a top fin for a fish. Like silvery and gold. She had requested specifically that it matched with her outfit.
Yes.
This looks beautiful.
I don't know where they found this, but I wouldn't mind having one like that. That's gorgeous.
I think it would look great on you.
Thank you.
She says that as she's like, she kind of holds it up like she's imagining it on Smew, and then she's gonna
Like
put it
sits
on her.
up and strikes a regal pose for you.
Oh, then you'd be a very deadly wizard on land, sea, and air.
Yes, and that uses the stats of the 2014 version of the Cloak of the Manta Ray. So it does not require attunement. And I will say we can do away with that action to put the hood up or down requirement thing. You just have this now. I don't think that makes a substantial difference.
Cool. Look for it. That'd be the legacy one, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Nice. what does your item do, Wade?
Are you
It helps me not die.
It helps you not die. I think we should all have something like that.
You know how sometimes it's been close a few times. This is like if it's like super close, as and nobody's trying to stab me while I'm on the ground. This will pretty much make sure that my health stabilizes.
Oh, so I would be able to get to you in time no matter what then, even if you were lying there for a while.
Yes, it also, sometimes when we take a rest and we feel a bit reinvigorated after being wounded.
Yeah, sleep is great like that.
Well, not sleep. Like if we're taking like a shorter rest.
Oh, I see.
If say we're taking a shorter rest and we take some time to tend to our wounds, this sort of helps that process.
Oh, that's very neat.
Yeah, I can see that coming in handy. And now you've got extra spell slots as well.
Indeed. That's, another fireball or something else.
We all know it's going to be a fireball. Don't
you say that,
be.
But I spent some time looking into a new spell that will allow me to make more use of my time on the battlefield. Storm Sphere allows me to, shoot lightning at people with that extra time.
That does sound cool.
And that also kind of helps our brand as like the herald of the storm.
Yes, indeed.
Maybe you should let us know before you cast it so that we can announce it's coming.
Yeah. Very anime style.
Now the ultimate final move.
Well, thank you so much, Smew.
Oh, you're welcome. Is
Is
there anything else I can help you with? I know there's a lot of people who are... people are kind of interested to clear off today after this morning's events. There's not a whole lot of people around anymore.
I have need of some scribing materials.
Oh.
In my travels, we came across... I don't even remember exactly what it was, but something that allowed me to cast Dimension Door. And I told myself I did not want to cast the spell like a consumable and then not have the opportunity to scribe the spell when I was not prepared to do so. And I've just, forgotten about that ability. And so I'd like to take that opportunity to start scribing it now.
Oh, well, yeah, I think you're more than welcome to... you're more than welcome to help yourself to some of the inks from the library. Normally, we don't let people take it to go, but I think given what happened this morning, I'm not going to tell anyone.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
So I'll say you're able to load up on enough magical ink for... I'll roll some dice for it. How about that? 7 levels worth of spells.
That's nice.
Eat out like a bandit.
Wade tries to walk away cool again. Like
Except he forgot to put the caps on the ink, so it's all just seeping into his robes as he walks.
Oh, actually 5 levels worth of spells, but it
I
was
should-
worth it.
I should have brought pocket protectors. That would have been the cool thing to do.
A cool guy is always prepared.
Oh boy. We are
Yeah.
on one.
Saturday nights always have a particular vibe.
Just here to shoot the shit, but also learn a lot of lore.
And like an insane amount of lore. If we're done, I guess we'll head into the woods and try to find Broxl. I'll try to lead the way unless Cam wants to show me up.
Sure. We can we'll be like trying to walk in front of each other, noticing things first.
If you both roll survival,
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll do that.
I'm gonna use blue.
Yeah, my blue has been rolling a 1, so I'm not gonna do
no.
that.
The blue has not done me well.
Oh baby, that's the 26.
Yeah, she
Oh, yeah.
got me. She got me by 12. So
you have been thoroughly shown up in navigation by Cam.
Her clothes are just kind of like billowing from her armor as well, like she's being pushed forward just a little bit more eager than you.
Damn,
Yes.
like I know the way also. Why
Yeah,
don't we-
I've noticed that over there. Did you see that?
Yes, I saw that.
How come you didn't point it out?
I didn't think we were competing about pointing things out.
I'm just saying I'm doing a very good job, and you could at least tell me that.
You're doing a very good job. You're very good at navigating the woods. Far better than I would have expected you to be.
Did you hear that, Wade?
I did hear it, yes.
She just gives Learas a very mischievous sort of smile.
Bird with a Brooklyn accent says, "I heard it too." That's right, motherfucker. I've been following you around.
Do you need something? Wait, how can I understand you? I didn't cast anything. The fuck is wrong with that bird?
Flies away.
It's some sort of residual effect from what happened to Broxl.
Why can I understand you speaking? I'm not speaking. I can hear you. I'm squawking here.
Oh my god.
Yes, you cross south out of town across the Cayana River, following the southern bank west into the woods, past where you can see the fields surrounding Jasper's Grove, into relatively untraversed areas of wilderness outside of Crystal Harbor. It's, you've done this walk a couple times before. It's not short. And you arrive in the vicinity of, I guess, Broxl's domain an hour or two after sunset. You're greeted by the thick wall of underbrush forming a nigh impenetrable barrier, which, when you approach, opens up into a portal.
That's really cool.
Wow, he must have gotten used to his abilities.
Not only that, he can sense our approach.
Oh, is it like a special site where, like, through all of his plant friends, maybe?
That could be. I've heard that, technically speaking, the root systems of a forest could be considered like almost like an intelligent brain on its own.
Oh, that kind of makes sense with the way that the shifting woods work. they kind of communicate with each other as things are walking through. It's so cool.
Hey, did you see that? Did you see that?
Did we see what?
Oh, that's what the shifting woods are like.
We literally just had a whole
Oh,
conversation about that.
that was your impression of the shifting woods. Oh,
Exactly.
okay.
Yeah, nobody ever casts speak with plants inside the shifting wood because that's all you can hear is just, did you see that?
Well, should we?
Cam's already gone through.
Yeah.
Not surprised. All right.
Like the
I'll
heavy
follow.
undergrowth in here as well is sort of parting and laying itself down to make an easily traversable path for you.
Are there any
You-
little plant guys like running around still?
There are. There might even be more. You notice that even there's some of you can see yeah, you got a 26. This domain inside of this thorn wall that he's constructed for himself is a little bit larger in diameter than the last time you were here, and there's even, you can see some whole trees shifting around and moving about.
She's just like walking through this place like a little Disney princess, wide-eyed, like completely amazed by everything. I wonder if he's still stuck at the center. She's going to move towards like what seems like the center of all of this.
Yeah. And this path slowly winds its way through the space, leading you to the very center of Broxl's domain, where it is night now under the tree canopy. It is pretty dark, but you've got that crazy dark vision. But even if you didn't have it, you would be able to see a source of light illuminating the outline of what you last saw Broxl looking like. It seems to be standing up. Looks like bent over, or like hunched over a table working on something as you approach. And as you approach, you can see this table is not like a constructed table. It's various branches and shrubs grown together into the shape of a table, as with many things around here. It kind of appears as though you are in a living room that has been grown out of the ground.
And
With-
Broxl appears to
literally.
be like mobile in here.
Say again?
Broxl appears to be mobile, like he's.
Yes. As
No.
you approach, it's like, Cam, Wade, Learas,
Good to see you.
welcome back.
Oh, so much has changed.
This new existence was a lot to get used to, but I like it.
I'm so glad that worked out for you.
Me too. Me too.
I think Learas had something that he wanted to talk to you about.
Yes, I happened to come across some interesting materials for potion making, and I thought perhaps you would be interested in crafting some for me.
What sort of materials? And he stands up now from this table and turns around, and if there's any space between your group and him, so, he's probably about 8 feet tall now. He's grown. He was already pretty tall, but it looks like he's maybe grown a little bit taller in this plant form. And as he steps towards you, it's a little bit strange. It's like the bottom of his foot doesn't go down to the ground. It's like roots and tendrils reach up and form a new leg for him to traverse towards you with.
Okay, that's weird. But Learas is going to open up his pack and get out the Fomorian eye and one of the 10 Fomorian toenails. and say, can you work with these? I have more of these ones, but
Hmm. He takes the toenail first and says, "This I can definitely work with." Yeah, I can work with these for certain. How many of these do you have?
I've got all 10.
Oh, it sounds like 10 potions to me. Now, this eyeball, though, I'm sure something can be done with this, but it'll require some experimentation.
Okay. Well, I mean, all it took was killing a Fomorian, so, it's of no consequence to me, but if you can make something out of it, that'd be fantastic.
I should be able to do something.
We need more, then we just gotta kill a few more of them.
A Fomorian?
I didn't get the freaking joke
Wow.
Oh boy.
Were you wanting to wait for me to work on these, or will you come back?
I suppose that's a good question. How long do you think this process might take?
Well, I find myself not needing sleep anymore these days. I could get a couple done through the night if you would like to stay.
I think that would be fine with me. How about you two camp here for the night, and at least we know we're somewhere safe, and then we can head back to Alvitende tomorrow.
I would be fine with that.
Yeah.
I don't think we're in that much of a rush, are we?
No,
Everyone's kind of just waiting right now to
see what's next. But yeah, I think we can, as long as you're okay with us spending the night here and getting some rest ourselves.
Of course, you're always welcome here.
Nobody came to bother you, right? Nobody from the Hall Weave or anything like that?
No, some of the druids from Lus Biale have visited from time to time.
Oh. I imagine they were quite welcome here, though.
Yes.
Good. We've done everything we can to keep people from disturbing you while you adjust to your new way of life.
I appreciate that. I've even been able to start selling them some potions, and they've started supplying me with materials.
That's very nice. Is there anything that we can do to help you, thrive?
Well, bringing things like this, if you wouldn't mind letting me hang on to some of these in exchange for the trouble of making you some potions.
Of course, not at all. We'll bring you anything interesting we find. I don't know if I want to. I'm going to wait. I was going to suggest maybe I show him one of these purple crystals I have as well, see what he might make of them, but he's already had some bad interactions with stuff like that. And I think maybe I'll wait to see what the Hall of Weave can discover from them before I start handing them to anyone else.
Which is completely contrasted by Cam pulling out a basement egg and plopping it down on the table. Our friend ate one of these and he exploded on the inside is how he would describe it. We found it deep inside of a ruined I don't even know what you would call it, like a research facility.
Interesting. We'll pick up the egg. I don't know what this is.
Well, I don't think I'm going to be eating it. So if it would be of use to you at all, I'm completely fine with you figuring that out.
If there's any use to be made of it, I will figure it out.
When you found that, I did not have spells to identify, but I can do that now. Ritually identify it.
Well, maybe that's a good idea. We don't want him turning into some sort of plant egg creature.
I mean, perhaps, but maybe not. Maybe he'll become even more powerful.
How many of those eggs do you have left?
Cam only had one.
Okay. Okay, so your ritual casting identify on the basement egg?
Yeah.
Right, so over the course of the next 10 minutes, you get that any creature that eats one of these eggs must make a DC 20 Constitution saving throw. On a failure, the creature takes 10d6 points of force damage from an internal magical explosion. But on a success, the creature permanently increases its lowest ability score by 1.
Ooh. What was the DC?
20.
Constitution?
Yes.
Like a 1 in 15 chance.
It can give you guidance. Cam will totally support you eating a basement.
That seems very in character.
And yeah, so either you eat the egg and you take lots of damage, or you make yourself stronger, or more intelligent, or more dexterous, or more wise, or depending on whichever ability you would say is not your strong suit.
What used to be Broxl will say, well, you are, of course, welcome to try and eat it if you want. I may be able to stabilize it somewhat, temper the danger, also temper the effect, the positive effect.
What do you mean by it? So you would lose the positive effect but make it safer?
It would not be quite as strong, but it would not explode when you eat it. Which sounds very unpleasant.
Is there anything you could give me that might help me to succeed at that? I'm willing to pay for it.
Perhaps.
Oh,
Be able to concoct something.
I actually might have something.
Oh.
The potion that I found would help you be resistant to the damage that you would take.
How much was the damage?
10d6.
Oh, I think I'd be okay. And and what else? There was like 44 force damage or something like that?
It was just 10d6 force damage.
Oh. I thought there was two different things.
Not for damage.
If
if you fail to save, you take damage, and the egg is gone. If you succeed, you get an ability point.
And the egg is still gone.
And the egg is gone.
Yes. I don't know. It might be worth the risk.
You are about to take a long rest.
And I'm pretty resilient, guys. Like I've been fighting sea serpents and whatever Broxl left behind in his shop and all sorts of things that have been pummeling me.
I'll tell you what. She's going to. I really want to see this happen. So she is going to cast aid on you.
I really don't need it.
You don't. Oh, Okay. Well, do you want the potion?
I don't need that either.
Okay. Just gonna look at Wade, who
But-
is identifying the egg. I guess. I hope it tastes okay.
Is there a particular way I have to eat it, or just have to like drink the contents of it?
Just, I mean, you could cook it first if you want to, but yeah, just gotta eat it. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna take one of my new swords and just take the top clean off, and I will take your guidance if you can give me that, Cam.
Yes. She'll give
I'll
you
let
that.
that work for this.
She will guide you on how to eat an egg.
Oh, it's not for the saving throw, right?
Fair
Yeah,
Yeah,
enough.
you
it's
would
ability
need
check.
resistance.
Okay, well, it is what it is. I'm gonna take the chance. I'm gonna put my faith in Blue again. He didn't come through for me last time, but he's blue. Learas is blue. Come on. Nope, that's a 13.
No.
You slice the top off of this egg and kind of shoot it back like an oyster, and it's been sitting in Cam's bag for a while.
Yep.
And you can just feel your stomach start to roil. And
It's so dark over here. I don't have my freaking light on.
there's this like concussive force that you experience as though someone has punched you in the gut, but from the inside. As you take 34 points of force damage as this egg explodes inside of you. This little bit of smoke like comes out of your mouth and nose.
No, I didn't manage it. What a waste of an egg. I really thought I'd have it.
You mind if I ask you some questions about the experience?
No, not at all.
Can you describe what it felt like when the egg was going when you were
Well, it
drinking it
smelled
or eating it?
and tasted disgusting. It slid down my throat like a gigantic booger. And the second it touched my stomach acid, it exploded. And not in a figurative sense, it hence all the smoke and stuff coming out of my mouth at the moment.
Smells kind of like smoked fish now.
I suppose it would.
I wonder if cooking it would make it.
Well, I think Anath made an omelet of the first one and ate that when he exploded.
Yes. Anath cooked it, so that didn't.
That didn't work either.
I do know that there are some mages who dabble with time, and perhaps a sufficiently powerful time mage could take like a success from the past and transpose it onto the future.
Perhaps I wouldn't know of such things.
So like you could like ensure that your experience with the egg succeeds. Is that what you mean?
Yes, but I am not such a mage, so I don't know if it works exactly like that. I'm sorry that your experience was not to your liking.
That's fine. I took a gamble. I knew it was.
You're starting to act more and more like me as time goes on.
I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest, man.
Isn't it a little bit freeing to just sometimes do exactly what you want to do?
I wouldn't know. To me, that was still a measured calculation.
Was quite measured. I mean, we knew the minimum and maximum amount of damage that could occur by eating the egg, and we knew approximately what would happen upon success of digesting the egg, perhaps? I guess it's not entirely certain where the properties of succeeding come from.
If I wasn't sure I could have resisted the entirety of the damage that thing was capable of, I wouldn't have eaten it.
Fair enough. It was still risky, though.
You may have a
suppose.
stomach ache for a while.
Yeah.
Especially when you consider, what if we get attacked here or something? You never know. Now you're damaged.
I'll be okay.
You
I'll
will
have
be
some healing
safe
if I
here
need it.
this
And
evening.
what's that?
You will be safe here this evening. I am aware of everything that happens within a certain distance of the exterior wall.
We noticed that. You kind of parted the way
That
for
was
us.
impressive.
That was very cool.
It's an interesting experience.
But what if something happens to be heading our way that you're incapable of stopping yourself?
He like looks, he gestures around, and nearly every tree and shrub that you can see in the area just like pulls its roots out of the ground and starts walking around.
No,
to
don't get
have
me wrong.
assistance.
I'm not doubting your capabilities, but what if a red dragon flies overhead and sets fire to the entire forest?
That would be problematic.
That's my point. So the concern that there could be a threat is valid, but still.
Were you defending?
Yes, I think that we should always be on our toes, expecting things to go wrong. That's how I've survived.
Oh, they
so far.
have been. They have been
Yeah.
going very wrong for us a lot.
Exactly. So your caution is well founded. But again, we are relatively safe. It's unlikely a red dragon will arrive, and I could withstand that and even more. So
Does it feel like fairly comfortably like the temperature here?
It is cool. It is a fall evening.
Okay.
You're not gonna freeze.
I think I'll take a moment then if we're wanting some rest to set up my dome for the night at least so we can. I like to be nice and warm. And she's gonna kind of step away and find a bit of a clearing, or maybe the path kind of clears for her as she's doing that.
Yeah.
And she sits down and
The trees and bushes walk out of the way.
just gonna ritual cast Leomund's Tiny Hutch.
All right, the hut goes up.
Right.
And you're able to settle down in there for a long rest. Y'all just going to sleep, or is anybody going to try and bother keeping a watch?
I'll keep a watch for the first couple of hours. If nobody else feels it's necessary, I understand, but I am going to sit up for a couple hours and keep watch.
I was going to say I was going to keep watch, but actually spend time scribing my spell.
Yeah, you're able to get started on that. And yeah, and for the time that you spend up, you occasionally hear Broxl moving around. He's starting to get to work on making those potions. And there's just all manner of rustling vegetation throughout the night. It's not loud, but it is ever present.
Fair enough. I would like to. Kim, where did you leave your new trident?
I think when she goes to bed, she kind of just puts everything so that's kind of laying next to her. So.
Okay. Then Learas is just going to kind of quietly take that, and as he's keeping watch, he'll, if mending would be of any assistance here to like kind of polish it up and fix it up, get rid of any sort of buildup of dust or rust or anything like that. But other than that, he'll also just like polish it down and like make sure it's in good condition. It being coral, I assume he knows how to treat it properly and everything.
Oh yeah.
And just get it looking really shiny and nice for her.
Aww.
Mending is not of any use here. This appears to be structurally very sound, despite being in need of a good polish. But yeah, I will say with your experience being a Triton and having weapons, it's no trouble for you.
He's coming.
Yeah, he
went
was
out
coming and
garbled.
garbled a little bit there too.
Just at the end.
Oh,
It's no trouble for you.
got it. Yeah, so he gets it shiny and looking nice and everything, and then just places it exactly back where it was.
Learas, I mean, if you need something cleaned, I have the magics for that.
It's fine. I didn't mind doing it myself. Some things are about the effort, Wade.
Yours has a crush.
Pretty sure that was clear when he drew her while she was sleeping.
I think I teased you then too.
Probably.
You did.
Yep, but other than that, he'll keep watching, go to sleep.
All right. And the morning comes without any incident. As the sun starts rising, you all wake up at probably Cam last, as per usual.
Yeah, especially because she set like the inside of the dome to be kind of dark.
Got her eye mask on.
Yeah. Her little fluffy slippers.
And the morning greets you, and what would you like to do? Or I guess, Cam, make a perception check.
That's a 21.
You notice that your trident looks like it's in much better shape than it was when you went to bed.
She wakes up, does the very yawn and stretching, and she looks over at her stuff, and she's like, the fact that it's a little bit shinier is very noticeable to her. Oh. Where is everyone when she wakes up?
I think Learas is checking in on Broxl to see what progress he's made.
Wade would just be sitting down, scribing.
Oh. Morning, Wade.
Good morning.
Did you do that? She kind of points to her weapon as she starts getting ready for the day.
No, but the person who did told me that sometimes, the effort is worth it.
Was it Broxl?
Wade starts to chuckle. He's like, no, Broxl was busy with.
Oh, right, of course.
Bruise.
Yeah, she's fixing her hair, and then I think subconsciously it kind of clicks for her, and she holds the little locket where she had tucked that drawing away, and she goes, oh, I see. And she's just I think she tries to like turn away from Wade so he doesn't see that like her cheeks are a little bit red as she starts getting her armor back on. Yeah, she's just gonna get ready and stand up and walk out of the dome. It kind of like fades away as she does so. I guess, are we headed right out then this morning?
Well, so you'll see when you exit the dome, Learas some short distance away having a conversation with Broxl. He's got a number of houses. I was able to complete 3 of these potions in the night for you.
Nice.
You are welcome to take them all with you. If you don't mind leaving the rest of these toenails with me, I'll keep working on them.
Absolutely. And I guess we'll do half each total in the
That
end.
seems fair.
I think so. So how potent are they? What do they do exactly?
These, I think you will be pleased with what these will do. So functionally, these will act as potions of. I had the tab open, but I closed it. These will function as potions of frost giant strength.
Okay. What's the number on that, do you?
For 1 hour, it will set your strength to 23.
Nice.
We could all be super strong at the same time.
And you've got 3 of those, and you can see now any way you hold it up, you don't see the toenail in it, but the way the light reflects off of it kind of looks like a toenail floating in the center of the bulb of the vial.
Not really what I was hoping to see, but very good. That's going to be very helpful, I'm sure, especially since Cam's probably almost that strong already, but Wade and I could probably use some help if it ever comes to it.
It's probably like 3 times as strong as I am.
I will hold the other 2 for you, and if I'm able to make anything of the eyeball.
Very much appreciate it. I'll keep my eyes out for anything else that might help your work here.
Always happy to get interesting ingredients.
I understand. I'm always happy to find interesting monsters to hunt. Well, Broxl, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for sheltering us for the night.
Of course, it has been very nice to see you all as well.
I do think it's time we head back. Well, not back, but forward, I guess.
Alrighty. And you head on.
Are
Are you walking or trying to call for a ride?
We were trying to call for a ride, I think. Did we have was the medallion a way to contact her, or
I think you interact with it somehow.
I know she can use it to just bring us back.
Mm-hmm.
But was there a way to reach out to her through it at all, or
Not
do we
through
have
it.
to send...
The last time
Yeah.
she called you,
Right.
Okay.
So yeah, Cam, I think you're gonna need to send her. You maybe should have done this last night.
Yeah, that is fair. Especially, what if she has what if she has company? She's up there in the mountain.
Well, her place is big enough that we could go without seeing her company.
Hold on, I'm just gonna long rest myself here.
Good point. There's stuff I gotta do for that as well.
She's going to. Yeah, well, how did she do it before? Oh yeah, she has she takes her little amulet and she's kind of it's like she's texting on it as she's doing the sending. It's like Alvitende, we found some interesting scripts we need you to translate, and we have some information that might interest you. Can you summon us? Yeah, that's 24 words.
Just say please.
Oh, please. Yes, queen. All one word.
That checks out. Yeah. After a moment, it's maybe like 10 or 15 seconds till you get a response. Hear the voices. Absolutely. Just give me a moment. Stand by.
Let's stand by. Stand by each other? Is that what that is?
I think that just means she needs a minute. Maybe she did have company over.
Like a gentleman caller is what they say in the book.
And you get the word caller out when Cam vanishes from in front of you. And as you remember, she can only do one at a time.
Oh, I see. Fair enough.
So over the course of the next few seconds, Cam dematerializes, followed by Learas, followed by Wade, and the three of you find yourself in that same room that you arrived in last time, with Alvitende standing there by the door. Caught me at a good time.
Oh,
that's fortunate. What makes it such a good time for you?
Just woke up.
And you had a good night, did you?
I
did. Her hair is all askew. Finally find someone her size.
Not actually what's happening, but
not what's happening, but it is funny. It is very funny.
I'm so invested in Cam's theory.
And her hair is a little bit out of sorts. You haven't really seen. She usually has like a hood up, but that usual cloak. It looks like she's sort of dressed more in giant pajamas than her typical going out clothes that you've seen her in before.
Those look really comfortable.
They are.
You ever try like fuzzy slippers?
I had this pair of fuzzy slippers. They were the most adorable. I guess that would have been about a few hundred years ago. By now, they've probably decayed, but I would like another pair.
Oh, I will try to look out for some that might fit you.
Good luck.
I'm writing this down. This is
it's
Cam's
hard
new
to find
side
shoes in my size. Especially these days. You said you had information and some script?
Yes.
Please.
So Learas going to pull out of his pack the copies of ancient giant writings from the Fomorian, presumably temple underwater, whatever the hell it was.
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of like handed, like some of them are like big sheets, and he's like kind of rubbed some of them, and then other ones he's like copied exactly, and like he's done his best to like. I think I did do a pretty good job of replicating it when I was there making the check on it.
You did decent.
Yeah. So he hands it over to her, and we found these deep underwater somewhere.
We grab anything.
Let's go sit down and take a look at these.
All right.
And exiting into this room, it's been a little bit since you've been here, and I think the last time you were here, there were a bunch of bodies everywhere, and this combat. It looks like it's been cleaned up, and it looks like in the intervening time, Alvitende has somewhere acquired a little bit more furniture. There is a giant-sized chair for her, and then there are a number of smaller armchairs now arranged around to host medium-sized guests.
Oh, that's so thoughtful.
Yes, thank you for the accommodations.
Of course. You've been very helpful to me in that I am no longer trapped in a chessboard. The least I could do was ensure that you have some place to sit.
Yes, and we've been busy and we've uncovered a lot about Fort Oss and what's been going on and those creatures that attacked you. And
I'd be
there's a
interested
lot
to
to
hear
it.
all of it.
Yeah, he's gonna like kind of start explaining everything that they've discovered since they last talked, and share some theories and that sort of thing, but and explain where these writings came from and all of that.
Yeah, when you explain, actually, everybody can make an insight check for me.
Alrighty.
20.
Dang.
Mine was cocked and now it's in that one.
Oop.
So 10.
And Wade?
Also 20.
Nice. So, for Learas, big lady, hard to read.
Why he struggles with Cam's feelings.
But for the other two, when Learas is recounting, where you found these like giant ruins at the bottom of the lake, Alvitende to the two of you looks very surprised. Like, this is new information to her. She was not aware of the presence of these ruins so nearby. And that's quite apparent to the two of you from her reaction, but she will even say the same. These... I don't think these are Fomorian in nature. Looking at... she's sort of shuffling through the pieces of paper that you have handed to her, which appear absolutely minuscule in her hands.
Wouldn't have her reading glasses on this early in the morning.
These...
Did we grab any notes from the dig site? Were there any papers there that we picked up?
On the tables or something?
Yeah.
There was
Yeah, there was a book of some variety there, which I believe you had determined had something to do with the ritual that they were attempting to perform.
She knows a lot about magic. She might know something about that ritual as well.
But she will say, you can see several different expressions. Like there's a bit of an emotional ride going on with Alvitende while she's hearing the story and examining these etchings that you took. Said, I believe that my people built these ruins.
So how did they end up underwater on an island off the coast?
That is a very good question.
So that structure we found, that should have been in the sky?
Not necessarily. My people are at home under the water as we are in the air.
I see. And some of the pictures carved into the walls depicted medium-sized creatures entering. In fact, there was an entrance that seemed to be sized for people like us. Is there some sort of connection between your people and mine that I'm not aware of?
There very well could be. Your people called the Bay home in times long past. There's no doubt that we would have had cause to parley with each other. And, she kind of gestures down the hallway to the medium-sized accommodations that she has here.
It's all very curious. I would love to learn more about that, but I don't even know where to look.
Well, there are other ruins left by giant kin dotted around in the mountains and the valleys surrounding the bay. This one I was unaware of. There are others. If you feel that it would be worth your time to investigate, I could direct you to where they are, assuming that they are still there. They have been there for thousands of years. I do not see why in the intervening hundreds I have been gone that they would be missing.
I would like to look into those. Although I don't know if I expect to find a connection between your people and the Tritons on land.
Under the water does seem like it would make it more sense to look.
Do we must have like a map of the area? I'm sure that at some point we discussed having that. Then he would kind of, with her guidance, point out spots on the map that would be of interest.
I will get you those later.
Yeah, no rush.
Yeah, at the very least, we had Thomas's map.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I won't make this like a major priority, but it's like we're going all over the place anyway. If we're going near something, we'll stop in and look.
For sure. Yeah, I will make sure to get you those. So we're getting close to time for the end of the session here tonight. Is there anything else that you would like to ask Alvitende in this moment before we break?
Solka.
With the dragon, too. We have the dragon statue thingy.
Yeah, so Sluvian Broxl Salka statue.
In any particular order, or?
Cam will chime in. She'll take out the little statuette thingy, and she'll be like, "Oh, remember when we were talking about the dragon a while back? I don't know if this helps identify anything, but we were told that we need to be gathering allies for whatever's going to be coming up, and we thought, well, if we could get a nice dragon who wanted to help, that would be very beneficial."
That would be very beneficial. Dragons are fickle creatures, but they are extraordinarily powerful. And she puts out her massive hand for you to place this statuette in. Brings it up. This is very reminiscent of the Shinebringer. Does look quite like her.
And-
Are there other dragons that look like the Shinebringer around that time period?
Not that I am aware of. I believe... Oh, what was she telling me? I believe her father was involved in the war between dragon and giant kin some thousands of years ago. She had not been hatched yet. Do not know if she has any siblings. She'll return the statuette to you.
So you believe we would be safe to release this dragon?
I don't... You believe... So, let me make sure. You've told her that you believe that there's a dragon trapped in there before, yeah?
Yes.
Mhm. Yep.
Okay. Actually, so we're going to retcon something, and she's going to... you see her eyes kind of glaze over white as she's staring at this thing. And She returns it to you. This is a masterful facsimile of the creature, but I believe this to be just carved quartz crystal.
Oh. I wondered then if it was like a piece of something to help capture them, but they failed to do so?
As she returns it to you, I'll give you an opportunity to make perception or investigation checks here.
All of us?
Yeah, anybody who wants to take a look at it.
17.
A 19 for
cannot-
perception.
I haven't rolled above a 6 all night. That's a 14.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Cam, you said you got a 19. That was the highest one?
Yes.
That is just enough. This now, on closer inspection, is not the same statue that you left with Brilliant Baubles.
Oh.
It's very similar,
Uh-oh.
but it appears to be a copy.
You guys.
I think on that facial expression, it's time to call it a night, everybody.
Good God.
What the fuck? Send us back right now.
The big bad is actually brilliant.
Hey, when's the
Don't
last time
make
we
me
saw
hurt
Baubles
you.
around?
It's been pretty recently.
Okay.
It's been pretty recently.